Good morning. Let's see, I'm just waiting to see if people are on. There we go, we got one person now. Awesome. Hi, my name is Leslie. This is a slow flow Daybreak yoga. It's about 45 minutes. We're gonna use for sure a yoga strap or a towel. So if you don't have a strap, just grab a towel and you can set it about as long as possible. We're gonna use it towards the end of the practice, so once you have it, just set it aside. And then as you're ready, I have my coffee available. Certainly feel free to have water as well. And we'll get started at the back of the mat. So we're coming into mountain pose, standing nice and tall, and we'll allow the arms to fall by your sides, palms facing forward. Good. And then once you're there, we're just gonna start to find our neutral spine. So allow the palms to be by your side, but then we're just gonna take our hands to a triangle. So you're gonna bring your thumbs together, bring your index fingers together, and then we're gonna slide our thumbs even about with our belly button. And then you're gonna wanna bring your fingers and thumb about in line with each other. So you might notice, and if you can't quite feel that there, you might be sliding out to the hips, and then bringing your fingers in as close as they'll be here. And then we're gonna start to tilt the pelvis until you feel like it's at neutral. So you might feel when the top of the bones come forward, and then notice when the bottoms come forward. And then where is that neutral position? Once you have that, we'll start to feel the rib cage and the pelvis. And then we'll start to line the rib cage up with the pelvis, making sure we keep the pelvis in neutral. Once you feel like your rib cage is shining right down over your pelvis, we're just gonna allow the arms to come by your side. If you're like me, you're probably feeling like your shoulders are starting to cave in a little bit. So from there, we'll just start to broaden our collarbones through our shoulders. And then keep the neck nice and long. And then start to find your feet. So we'll close the eyes for this part, if that's available to you. You can always soften the gaze over the tip of your nose. And then feel your firm grounding. So mound of big toe, mound of pinky toe, heel. Start to press the floor away. Go ahead and lift your toes up. And just notice that feeling of those 3 points on each foot pressing the floor away. And as you feel those 3 points, you might start to notice your leg muscles firing up. And then from there, just start to gently lower one toe back down to the mat at a time. And as the toes come down, allow them to be nice and long and start to press the toes without scrunching your knuckles. And then feel yourself pressing the floor away now with all 3 points on the foot itself and then all 10 toes. And then from there, we'll start to breathe nice and deep. And as you find your nice deep breath, if we could, just imagining that your lungs were to go all the way down to your feet, what would it be like to draw your breath all the way down to the bottom of your feet? Finding your breath moving so deeply that you can draw it all the way down. And on your next exhale, just finding a sense of ease, allowing the body to breathe itself. And just starting to set up your practice breath here. So if you're starting to practice Ujjayi breath, you'll start to restrict the air to the back of the throat. You might find your whisper muscles to make that happen. So the same muscles constrict that you use to whisper, and they allow the air to press to the back of the throat. When that happens, you might start to notice a little ocean sound or a Darth Vader sound. Ujjayi breath just helps us regulate our metabolism, and it helps us build heat in the body. I've been watching some Buddhist monks build a sand mandala online on Facebook Live. And there's something really beautiful about the focus they find when they're creating this mandala. And this monk is being meditated around by his fellow monks, and he just has complete and utter focus so that each grain of sand gets placed in the right place. So if we can, thinking about our practice as that sand mandala, what do we want to focus on? What do we want to cultivate? And can we move with that kind of precision on our mat this morning, but also being okay and comfortable with us just as we are, not worrying about stepping in the wrong place or doing the wrong thing as much as just being accepting of our practice as it is this morning. So starting to find your intention with that in mind, and allowing it to be present in the entire body. We'll take a nice deep breath in. And on your next exhale, just softly sigh it out of the mouth, let it go. And then with your next inhale, start to reach through the fingertips so much so the arms start to lift up overhead. Maybe you flutter the eyes open and gaze up at the thumbs. From there, we'll interlace the fingers, place the hands behind the neck or the base of the head. So I like to place my hands right about the occipital bone. And on your next inhale, we'll just start to lengthen the elbows up to the sky, maybe just tipping the head back slightly on the hands, and maybe a little gentle traction on the neck. Good. Maybe you slightly press the hips forward and lift the chest to the sky. We'll take a deep breath in here. And then on your next inhale, releasing the arms back up overhead. And then on your exhale, we'll fold forward, maybe a slight bend to the knees, using our muscles, not gravity, to lower down. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your torso. Hands come to shins, press them away. Find sternum reaching forward, tailbone back. And then on your next exhale, we'll gently fold forward. Belly rests on the thighs as you bend your knees enough to make that happen. Hands can rest on the floor, crown of head heavy to mat for ragdoll pose. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. Maybe you sway from side to side or shake the head yes or no. Any other variations of ragdoll that you like, feel free to use those. On your next exhale, release our hands to the mat, finding stillness. And then inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your torso. Hands come to shins, find your spine. Make sure the neck is straight out of your spine here. And then on your next exhale, we'll fold forward one more time. Your next inhale rises you up with a nice neutral spine. Abdominals are engaged. Arms sweep up overhead, palms meet, gaze up at the thumbs. And then on your exhale, release the hands through heart center and down by your side. From there, we're going to take a slow walk to the top of the mat, and we're looking to find a nice little walk across the whole foot. So nice slow walk, being mindful of each step you take, starting to lower heel, and then lowering all the way through, spreading toes wide, and then as the other foot starts to lift up, you'll start to take that foot forward, feeling the heel, pressing through the toes on both feet, and noticing what you notice through each foot as you take your slow walk. Good. As you get to the top of the mat, we'll inhale and sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, folds you forward. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your torso, hands to shins or mat. And then on your next exhale, we'll plant the palms, step the left leg back, coming into a crescent lunge. So we'll stay here with our hands on the mat. Certainly you can have blocks or books underneath if you want to bring the floor a little closer. But we're going to make sure we're stacking our front knee over our ankle. And then your back leg is nice and strong. And on your next inhale, we'll start to squeeze the feet towards each other. And on your exhale, press them away. Inhale, squeeze together. Exhale, press. And then one more time, inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press. And then decide which one feels more stable for you. Is it more stable to press the legs away or more stable to squeeze? And then make your choice. Maybe you stay there squeezing, maybe you're pressing, but choosing one. We'll keep lengthening through the crown of the head, reach the sternum forward, shine your heart. And on your next inhale, right arm comes up for a twist. Very light on the left hand, you should be able to lift it up. Keep reaching your left hip to the sky. And then we're going to hug your outer right glute into center line. Find your space. Good. We're looking to twist in the mid-spine, not in the hips. So if you notice your hips moving, try to find that alignment. Good. We'll take one more deep breath in here. And on your next exhale, we'll lower the right hand back down to the mat. From there, we're gently going to lower your left knee to the mat and step your right leg back to meet your left in your tabletop position. We'll spread the fingers nice and wide. And on your next inhale, we'll start to move into some nice slow cat-cows, moving from the base, moving from our lower spine. So on your next inhale, start to tilt the pelvis towards the floor. One vertebra at a time starts to roll the spine up all the way through the neck, finding your cow pose. Pull your sternum through your shoulders, find space in the chest. And on your next exhale, again, slow move starting from the pelvis, starting to tilt your back up to the sky, rolling through one vertebra at a time. Crown of head starts to come towards the floor. Press it away with the palms. And then inhaling, nice slow cow. Keep moving with your breath. And after a few rounds, if it feels good, just start to find some extra motions or movements, maybe some side stretches. Maybe you're starting to barrel roll the spine. But allowing your spine to tell you what it needs as you take these motions. Maybe there's some hip circles you like. Maybe you take a child's pose instead of your cat. Whatever round you're on, just start to finish that round up, and as you're ready, your next inhale brings you back to a neutral spine. We'll hug the ribcage in, keep the neck nice and long. And on your next inhale, we're going to step into a modified side plank. The right leg is going to step behind the left, so we're going to keep the left palm grounded, shoulder stacks over wrist. From there, you're going to kickstand the left shin out behind you and step the right foot back in line with the left knee. So foot, knee, and shin, hand, and foot are all in line, and we'll inhale the right arm up to the sky. Good. And then from there, we're taking reverse gate pose. So the right arm comes over the ear, reaching forward, and then on your inhale, your chest spins open to the sky as much as you can. Press your hips over your grounded knee. Your next inhale is going to start to lift your torso up all the way to neutral. So we're stacking spine on top of the pelvis. And then from there, your right foot can be grounded, or you can flex your toes up to the sky. But on your next inhale, we're going to start to reach the right side body over that leg. Let the arm fall where it may. And on your next inhale, reach the left arm up and over. Good. So we're looking for a nice side body stretch on the left side. Start to reach your left rib cage towards the wall in front of you. So if I were to tie a little string around your mid rib cage and start to tug, could you find a little more space? We'll take one more deep breath in here. And then as you're ready, we'll inhale back through to center, and then cartwheel the left hand back down to the mat. Come back into that modified side plank. Keep the right hand to the sky. And then we'll start to flex your right foot nice and strong. Option to stay there. Option to inhale and lift the leg even with the hip. Exhale, taps the foot to the mat. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, tapping. One more time. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower it back down to the mat, and then from there, we'll start to plant the right hand back down on the mat, coming back through your tabletop position. From there, we'll exhale to tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Feet are about hips width distance apart or wider. Hands about shoulder width distance apart or wider. And we're looking for a nice long spine here, so don't worry about if your knees are bending. From there, we'll spread the fingers nice and wide. Start to press more into your fingers than the base of your hand. And then feel free to find movement. Maybe you're walking out your dog, bending into each knee, letting the heel fall to the mat. Maybe you're walking out your hands. If you like some planks forward and back, maybe you're taking those. But finding any movement that feels good for you here. As you start to settle into stillness, we're going to start to find the inner thighs reaching towards the wall behind you. And then if you notice that your elbow creases are starting to fall towards the wall behind you, we're going to start to bend them forward. So I like to back up and then start to hug my shoulders towards my chest. And then on your exhale, you let the chest come back towards the thighs, and we're just going to keep your chest even with your shoulders. We're not falling through them. Good. On your next inhale, we'll look forward in between the hands, lengthen the spine, bend the knees. And then on your exhale, walk step without any noise to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift and lengthen your torso. Hands come to shins, press them away. Find length in the spine. And then exhale, folding forward. On your inhale, we'll rise all the way up to stand. Reaching through the fingers, palms meet overhead, gaze up at the thumbs. And then exhale, release your hands through heart center and down by your side. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, hands to shins or mat. And then on your exhale, we'll plant the hands, step the right leg back, coming into your crescent lunge on this side. So we're, again, stacking left knee on top of left ankle. Maybe you're on fingertips, maybe you have blocks or books underneath the hands. Find a nice long spine. And then again, just as the other side, we'll start to fire up the legs. And on your inhale, squeeze the feet together. Exhale, press them away. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press. One more time. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press. And then decide which one feels good for you. Are you more stable when you squeeze, or are you more stable when you press? And then use whichever one feels good. We'll keep the legs just as they are. Keep your length in the spine, maybe inhaling one more time. Shine your heart. And then on your next inhale, left arm reaches up for a twist. Same thing on the other side. We're looking for a nice light right hand. And we don't want to see the right hip dropping to the mat, like so, right? We're going to reach that right hip to the sky. And then your outer left glute is hugging into center line nice and strong, helping your knee stay in line with your ankle. We'll take one more deep breath in. And then exhale, release your hand back down to the mat. And then from there, we'll gently lower the right knee to the mat. Step the left shin in line with the right. Find your tabletop position. Knees directly underneath the hips. Wrists directly underneath the shoulders. And then from there, we'll just start to find one cat-cow. So on your inhale, allow your belly to lower, broaden your collarbones. And then exhale, finding your cat, press the mat away. Inhaling back to your neutral spine, hug it in nice and strong. And then from there, we'll find our side plank on this side. So as you're ready, kickstanding the right shin back behind you, stepping the left foot back, and inhaling left arm up to sky. Good. From there, we're moving into our reverse gate pose. So as you're ready, your inhale takes the left arm up overhead, reaching the fingertips forward. Start to spin your chest open to the sky, find space. Your next inhale starts to lift your torso up with strength, coming over the pelvis, extending arms out to a T. And then again, your left foot can be flexed or it can be laying on the mat, doesn't matter. On your next inhale, you're going to start to reach your left arm over to the side, find space, and then let your left arm rest where it falls. Inhale the right arm up to the sky. And then again, you might turn your gaze up, but we're going to start to find space in the right side rib cage. Maybe sending a little extra breath there, thinking about breathing into the side body. And again, if someone were to tie a string around your rib cage and start to tug it over to the right, could you find a little more space? On your next exhale, we're going to cartwheel the right hand back down to the mat. One more time, finding our modified side plank. Make sure your shoulders stacking over your wrist, hip over knee. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to flex the left foot nice and strong. So again, you can stay there, or maybe on your inhale, you lift the leg straight out of the hip. Exhale, lowers it down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. One more time, inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower. And then as you're ready, hand comes down to mat. We'll pause in our tabletop this time. And we're going to take the hips directly over the knees, tuck the toes, and then just hover the knees an inch off the mat. Just 1 inch. Hold there. Keep your length through the crown of the head. Neck is nice and long. We'll take one more deep breath in here. And then on your next exhale, we'll just lift the hips up and back, come into your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, look forward in between your hands, lengthen your spine, bend your knees. Exhale, walk or step your feet to meet your hands. Inhale to halfway lift and lengthen your torso, hands to shins or mat, maybe a little bend in the knees. Exhale, folds you forward. Inhale, rises you all the way up to stand, palms meet, gaze comes to thumbs. Exhale, releases hands through heart center and down by your side. Inhale, sweeps arms up overhead. Exhale, folds you forward. And then inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. This time on the exhale, we'll plant the palms and we'll find our crescent lunge again. So left leg comes back. Again, setting it up, squeezing or pressing, choosing front knee over ankle. This time, inhale the arms up overhead. Good. Breathe here, hold. On your next exhale, we'll take hands to interlace at the lower back. From there, you're pressing palms together, and we're just going to start to plug the bottom edge of the shoulder blade into the back, so much so that it helps the fronts of the shoulders open up. You can keep the hands on the lower back if that feels good, or maybe on your next inhale, you start to reach your knuckles towards the floor. Maybe you just broaden your collarbones to the sky, nice long neck, taking a deep breath in. Good. Your next inhale takes the arms back up overhead. Good. Keep reaching your tailbone to the mat. We want a nice neutral pelvis, so that might mean your back knee is bent. That's totally okay. And then on your next exhale, we're going to take the hands to meet at the sternum. Inhale is going to lengthen you through crown of the head. You get two options here. Option one is to lengthen straight up to the sky. Option two is to lean forward and lengthen. On the exhale, we're taking a twist, so you can either take that twist with the spine nice and long, or you can tip forward and twist, tucking elbow behind thigh. If your elbow is coming behind your thigh, press the arm into the leg, leg into arm. We're still hugging the outer right glute into center line. Breathe. Inhale is going to take you back up through to center, arms up overhead. And then from there, we're going to exhale and lower the hands to heart center one more time. As you're ready, find your grounding on your right foot. Mound of big toe, mound of pinky toe, heel. All 5 toes pressing firmly into the mat. And then as you're ready, stork pose. We're going to stand up on the left leg, stand up on the right leg, lifting the left leg to 90 degrees. Flex the left foot nice and strong. Hold there. And then as you're ready, we're going to start to sit into chair pose. So the right knee bends, the left leg meets, and inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Good. Check in with your chair pose. So we're looking to be able to see our toes. If you can't, your hips are just going to come back a little farther. And then feet, knees, and thighs are parallel. And you're squeezing your knees towards each other, but at the same time, the thighs are pressing away, and you might feel your glutes wake up when that happens. And if you don't, give them a little tap, tell them, hey, it's time to get up. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, fold forward. We'll inhale to halfway lift and lengthen. Hands come to shins, press them away. And then on your exhale, we'll plant the palms, step the right leg back, coming into your crescent lunge. Again, find your setup with your legs. Front knee over ankle, squeeze or press. Inhale the arms up overhead. Good. Find that neutral pelvis. So even if you have to take your hands there to make it happen, maybe your back knee's bent to make that happen as well. Reach your tailbone to the mat. And then on your next exhale, we'll take the hands to interlace behind the lower back, taking the opposite thumb on top, the more uncomfortable interlace. Again, bottom edges of shoulder blade plug into back. Maybe you stay there. Maybe your inhale starts to reach your knuckles towards the floor. Maybe you're broadening collarbones, just lengthening the neck. Inhale is going to sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale is going to bring your palms to meet at heart center. Same 2 options you had on the other side. Inhale lengthens you. Exhale takes your twist. So same option to keep the spine long. Same option to tip forward and then reach the elbow behind the knee. Good. Press elbow into knee, knee into elbow. If you're going there. And then keep reaching your right hip to the sky. Keep hugging the outer left glute into center line. Breathe there. Hold. maybe notice your breath here, and then maybe notice what is it like to invite your intention into this practice and into this posture. Thinking about that same focus as the mandala creation. What can you do here to place your sand where you want it to be? Inhale is going to take you back through to center. Arms come up overhead. Good. Exhale takes the hands back through heart center. And then as you're ready, finding grounding on the left foot. Mount a big toe, mount a pinky toe, heel all 5 toes. And then as you're ready, stork pose. Flexing the right foot off the mat. Hip and knee are in line. Flex your right foot nice and strong. Hold there. And then as you're ready, sitting into your chair pose, bending the left knee, right foot meets. Inhale, sweeps arms up overhead. Good. Breathe there. Hold. On your next exhale, we're going to take the heels of the hands to our hip creases. And then from there, you're just going to start to press the thighs out and away. And if you can, let your tailbone kind of surrender to the hands. And maybe you feel a little lower back release. We'll take one more deep breath. And then on your inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, still staying in your chair pose. On your exhale, folding forward. Inhale to halfway lift and lengthen your torso. And then on your exhale, we'll plant the palms, step back to a high plank and hold. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Keep the neck straight out of the spine. Reach your knee creases to the sky. Always an option to lower your knees to the mat. No big deal. Breathe here. Start to rotate the pinky edges of the hands towards each other. So it's an isometric movement. They don't actually go anywhere, but maybe you'll feel a little more fire up in your arms when that happens. We'll take about 600 more breaths here. You guys got this. I'm just kidding. And then one more deep breath in. And then on your next exhale, we're gently lowering the knees to the mat. And from there, we'll start to find knees, chest, chin. So you're going to start to really squeeze your elbows into center line. Shift your shoulders about 3 inches in front of your fingertips. And then as you lower, your elbows are making a shelf for your rib cage. Chest and chin come down to mat. Hips stay slightly lifted. Good. We're just going to breathe here for a moment. And then on your next inhale, we'll start to slide the hips down to the mat. Lift the chest and head. Come into your low cobra, Bhujangasana. Good. Elbows stack over wrists. Bottom edge of shoulder blades plug into back. And hands press towards hips. So again, it's an isometric motion. Your hands are not going anywhere. We're just finding a little engagement. Good. Press the tops of the feet into the mat so much so you feel your kneecaps lift up into your thighs. Keep the neck nice and long out of the spine, so notice if you're letting it crunch back or come forward. We want to fire up those cervical flexors in the neck. We'll take one more deep breath in here. And then exhale, lower down to the mat. One more time, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting one more time. We're going to keep our back bends here. If you have a desire to go to a deeper, not a deeper, but move your back bend towards your lower spine, you're more than welcome to. But for the purposes of this class and working into spinal mobility and stability, we're going to stay here. On your next exhale, we're coming to child's pose. So mounds of big toes will touch. Knees will be nice and wide. Hips settle towards the heels. Forehead rests on the mat. If it doesn't quite make it there, slide a book, towel, blanket, something underneath your head so it gets to rest. And then notice if you need more lower back release, maybe the knees are closer together. If you'd like more hip release, knees are wider. If you'd like to stretch your lats along the back, maybe your arms are staying forward. If you feel like you need more sensation or stretch in between the shoulder blades, maybe arms come by your side, shoulders fall heavy to the floor. Take a few more breaths there. on your next inhale, if the arms are behind you, we'll start to sweep them forward. From there, we'll rest the forehead on the mat, and if your knees were close together, we're just going to take them a little wider for stability. We're going to start to flip the palms to the sky. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift the right arm about 3 inches off the mat and hold. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, and then we'll just take it right over to the left shoulder. Inhale, lift, left. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lowers, and then spread the fingers nice and wide as you flip the palms back over. Inhale through your tabletop position. Exhale to your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we'll find a 3-legged dog. Right leg lifts up. Flex the foot nice and strong. And then on your next exhale, we'll start to take the knee to the belly, chest, or nose. We're going to hold it in as tight as we can. Tuck your chin toward your chest. Pull your knee toward your nose. And then shoulders stack over wrists. From there, we're letting the abs take the leg the rest of the way. So you might feel the lower belly fire up nice and strong. And then on your next inhale, we're stepping the right foot in between the hands. Yeah? From there, we're going to start to turn the back foot about parallel-ish to the back of the mat. And then the front heel is about in line with the back arch. It might be a little off from that. We'll inhale to come into warrior 2. Arms open out to a T. And again, we're looking for some alignment in the front knee. That's what's most important. We don't want it folding in. We want it pressing towards pinky toes so that outer glute is fired up. And then from there, we want to make sure the knee is stacking over the ankle or just behind it, but not forward of it, right? So we're going to find some stability for the leg. Reach long from fingertips to fingertips. Glutes are firing up, helping to open the hips. If this hip is turned in, that's totally okay as long as we're not tugging on the knee. Good. Fire up the tricep muscles on the back of the upper arms, and then take your gaze over the middle finger of the front hand. And then bringing your intention back to your practice, we're going to take a nice big move to Skandasana or side lunge, bending into the left knee. So as you're ready, your exhale takes your palms to meet at heart center. Your inhale straightens out your front leg. We're going to start to turn your left toes to the upper left corner of your mat. And then from there, you can stay here just bending into the knee. We're going to start to pay attention to the inner thigh, the knee, and both hips and see what feels good. So this might be great just as you are. If you'd like, you can start to sit it all the way down. Maybe your hands help you there. We're going to flex your right toes to the sky if you're sitting all the way down. Your left knee is outside of your left shoulder. You have the option of being flat on the foot if that's available to you. If your ankle's not that happy about it, you can always pop the heel up off the ground. We're going to breathe here. And on your next exhale, we're going to release the hands to the mat and just walk them forward. On your next inhale, we're going to start to move into warrior 3, one more big move. So we're going to take that warrior 3 on our right foot. You can choose to use your hands to get there. You can choose to lift them up if you want that challenge. It's really up to you. But on your next inhale, as you're ready, you're going to start to straighten out the left leg. The right foot will ground and you'll start to turn your toes to the top of your mat. And then as you're ready, we're going to flex the left foot off the mat and start to take the torso parallel to the floor. Yeah? So we're finding that warrior 3. Hold here, breathe. You have the option to take the arms to airplane wings or to lift them up overhead. Good. As you're ready, we're going to keep the hands at heart center if they're there. If they're not, go ahead and bring them there. And then from there, stork pose. So we're coming into standing on the right leg, flexing the left foot, bringing it to 90 degrees. And then as you're ready, figure 4 chair, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, sit the hips back, bend into the right knee. Reach sternum forward, tailbone back, flex the left foot nice and strong. Use your muscles to help to deepen. So we're not looking to find our hands pressing the leg as much as using the glute to squeeze the knee down towards the floor and find your space. We'll take one more deep breath in here.
And then on your next exhale, we'll just release back to our mountain pose. Standing up, feeling free to shake out the thighs, roll out the ankles. And then as you're ready, coming to your mountain pose, feet about hips width distance apart. Inhale, sweeps the arms up overhead. Exhale, folds you forward. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your torso. Hands come to shins or mat. And then on your next exhale, plant your palms. Step back to your high plank, and we're going to take that same knees, chest, chin. If you have a different intention for your spinal mobility and stability this morning, feel free to lower how you'd like. Otherwise, we're going to shift the shoulders about 3 inches in front of the fingers, lower the knees, squeeze elbows in, exhale, lowers chest and chin for Ashtanga Pranam. On your next inhale, lower the hips, lift the chest and head, low Cobra Bhujangasana. Squeeze the elbows together, press bottom edges of shoulder blades into back. Press tops of feet into floor. This time on your next exhale, we're lowering down to the mat. We're going to slide the left arm by your side. Your right hand is going to be underneath your left cheek. So you're turning your gaze towards your right elbow. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift the right elbow and the left leg. So opposite leg, opposite arm. Knee is straight, toes are pointed. And your head is resting on your hand. Exhale, lowers it down. Inhale, lifts it up. Exhale, lowers. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And then we're just going to take it over to the other side. So taking the right arm by your side, left palm underneath the face, gazing at your left elbow. Your inhale lifts the left elbow and head. Your right leg lifts. Nice straight knee, toes are pointed. Inhale, lowers. Exhale, lifts. Exhale, lowers. Inhale, lift. One more time, inhale, lifting. And exhale, lowering. And then this time we'll release the hands back to your low cobra position. So elbows stack over wrists. Inhale, lifts chest and head. And then as you're ready, we'll tuck the toes. Engage your lower belly to support your lower back. And then come into your downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Spreading fingers nice and wide. Your next inhale lifts your left leg for three-legged dog. And then as you're ready, exhale takes knee to belly, chest or nose, shoulders over wrists. Again, hug it in as tight as you can. Let the chin drop towards the chest, working the nose towards the knee. And then feeling that sensation of the lower abs firing up, taking the foot a little closer in. And then as you're ready, step it between the hands, find your warrior two. Back foot parallel-ish to the back of the mat, front heel abouts in line with back arch. And then inhale, cartwheel the arms open. Good. From here, again, check in with your front knee. Find that stability. Knee over ankle, pressing towards pinky toe. Same thing here. You'll notice this hip for me is a little more rolled in. That's totally fine. I'm going to keep working it open. So we're going to stay here. Squeeze the glutes together. Arms are going to reach nice and long. Tricep muscles fire up on the back of the upper arms. Good. Gaze over middle, finger of front hand. Find your breath. And again, inviting your intention into these next two challenging transitions. What is it like to offer yourself that acceptance for your practice through these transitions? Taking that big transition to your Skandasana or side lunge, straightening out the front knee, hands to heart center, starting to turn the right toes to the upper right corner of the mat as your knee turns out. Same option to sit nice and high, keeping the hips there. If that's what feels good for your body today, stay there. If you'd like to lower all the way down, bending into the right knee, flexing left toes to sky. Again, right knee outside of right shoulder. And maybe on the mound of the foot, maybe the heel is fully grounded. On your exhale, hands are coming to mat, walking them forward. If you're sitting all the way down, you can do that. If you're up high, you can still do that. Good. As you're ready, that other big transition, going to your warrior three. Palms come back to heart center, or they stay on the ground if you'd like to use them. As you're ready, inhale starts to press you into the left leg, the right leg. Toes of the left foot turn to the top of the mat. And then as you're ready, starting to flex your right foot off the mat. Torso tips parallel to the floor. Keep flexing your right foot like you're standing on the wall behind you. The more you can flex and fire up those muscles, the easier your balance gets here. Hands can stay at heart center, maybe airplane wings, maybe arms up overhead. If your hands are not at heart center, starting to take them there. And then as you're ready, finding your stork pose, bending the right knee as you start to stand up on the left leg. And then keep flexing that right foot nice and strong, crossing ankle over thigh, pressing knee towards floor as you start to sit into your left leg for figure four chair. Good. Sitting hips back. Lengthening through crown of head still. Good. Find one more deep breath in. And then on your next inhale, we'll start to stand up nice and tall, shaking out the legs, roll out the ankles. Good. Take a deep breath in there. And then from here, we're going to start to sit down on our mat, and we want to make sure we have our towel or our yoga strap handy. So whatever you're using for that. And again, we want it as long as possible. So I like to grab one corner and then let it fall out, and that's what I'll use for my strap. So we'll just have that handy next to wherever you're going to end up lying down. From here, on your next inhale, we'll sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, folds you forward. Inhale to halfway lift and lengthen your torso. And then from there, we're just going to start to either plant the hands and bend into the knees, lowering down to a seat. If you'd like, you can start to reach your arms forward and start to lower into your seat, trying to lower without using the hands. If you need to use the hands, no big deal. As you're ready, we'll plant the feet on the mat, extend the arms, tuck the chin, C-curve the spine, rolling down one vertebra at a time. As you come to lay down on your mat, you're going to notice that there's a spot where you just want to drop through. See if you can engage your lower belly even just a little bit more to control it all the way through. Once you're down, we'll grab that towel or strap. We'll keep the knees bent. Left foot is going to stay planted. I like to walk them in so my knees stack over my ankles. That's totally up to you. From here, we're going to flex the right foot and start to take our towel or strap around the mound of the foot. So right at the top. And you're going to take your leg up to the sky. I like to find a point. So you're going to point your foot to the sky and then flex your toes back to your face. So the foot itself is pointed, but the toes are pulling back towards the body. Yeah, and then from there, we're finding our nice little hamstring stretch here. No need to go crazy deep unless you're feeling it, but just a nice safe stretch, letting the leg come towards your face. We'll keep both ends of your towel or strap in your right hand. The left hand's going to start to rest on the left hip. On your next inhale, we're going to keep your left hip grounded, and then right leg's going to come out to the side. You're only going as far as you can go without the left hip lifting up off the mat. Keep that front in your foot if you're using it. You can flex or point too, but there's just a nice stability of pointing the foot and flexing the toes back. Good. From there, we're going to inhale the leg back up to center, and we'll extend the left leg long this time. Place both ends of your strap or towel in your left palm, and then from there, the right arm comes out to a T. You're going to roll all the way onto the side of your left hip and let your right leg come all the way down to the ground. From there, the gaze can come over the right shoulder if it feels okay for the neck. You'll notice if your shoulder is peeling off the mat, you might try to readjust, but also you're going to get a nice pec stretch across the front of your chest. If you just start to flatten out your palm, reach to your fingers and press the tips of your fingers into the floor. Maybe you even feel a little bicep stretch there. But just notice the sensation you feel. On your next inhale, we're going to take the leg back through to center. And then from there, we're just going to switch the legs out. So we'll start to take the left foot inside of the towel. Again, right on the mound of the foot. So we're not really looking to have the arch inside that towel or strap. Your right foot's going to plant both ends of your strap in your left palm. Start to find that same activation in the foot. So again, pointing the foot to the sky and then flexing the toes back to the face. And then start to find your hamstring stretch, letting the leg come towards the body. And again, only working into your comfortable place. So not trying to like kill your leg right now or pop a hamstring. As you're ready, right hand rests on right hip, and on your next inhale, left leg comes out to the left. And again, we're only going as far as we can go while still keeping the hand on the hip. Inhale is going to take you back through to center, and then as you're ready, right leg straightens out, and then from there, strap or towel will go into the right hand, taking the left leg all the way over to the right, coming onto the side of the right hip. Left arm out to a T, same option for gaze over left shoulder. And again, if it's peeling up, just enjoy that nice pec stretch. Maybe reaching through the fingers, pressing tips into mat as you find a little extra bicep stretch. Your next inhale is going to start to take your leg back through to center. And then from there, we'll place our strap off to the side, hug both knees into your chest. And then we'll start to squeeze in nice and tight. Fire up all of your muscles, curl your toes, pull your forehead towards your knees. And then as you're ready, extending the arms and legs, finding your Shavasana. Taking a deep breath in, and exhale, softly sighing it out, letting it go. Feeling free to set up in any comfortable position that works for you. Maybe that's the legs up the wall. Maybe it's props underneath the knees to help your lower back. And as you lie here in your Shavasana, just starting to let go of practice, let go of the breath. And just coming back to that idea of the mandala. So the monks are going to dissolve the mandala in a couple of days. They're going to just sweep it away. So all of this work, and they just let it go. And that's their practice. And our practice is the same. We come and we work hard and we put in our effort throughout our practice, and we focus and we're meticulous in everything we do. And then at the end of the practice, we lie in this stillness and this calm, and we let it all go. So inviting that same sense of ease and release here. Knowing that the body will breathe itself. Knowing that you've already put in your effort. And what is it like to just sit with your stillness? If you're enjoying your Shavasana, I invite you to stay there. If you're ready to start to move on with your day, starting to deepen your breath and invite in small motions and movements. As you're ready, starting to wiggle fingers and toes, circling out wrists and ankles, rocking head from side to side. And inhale will take you to your full body stretch, reaching long from fingertips to toes like you're just waking up in the morning. And then on your exhale, bringing bottoms of feet to mat. And then just starting to find some gentle windshield wiper motions with the legs. As you're ready, finding your way into fetal position on your right or left side, or you can stay here on your back in stillness. Once you're there, just pausing a moment, offering gratitude for your practice and this time you've gotten to spend with yourself. And then just offering gratitude out into the world for anything you're grateful for, from places and people to objects and energy. When you're ready, find your way up to your comfortable seat. If you're still in your Shavasana, again, I invite you to stay there. As you start to find your comfortable seat, we'll stack spine on top, lengthen through crown of head, and we'll bring palms to meet at heart center in Anjali Mudra. And either softly closing the eyes or taking your gaze over the tip of the nose. Thank you all so much for hopping online with me this morning. I honor the place in you where the universe resides. I honor the place in you of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, then truly we are one. Namaste. Thanks so much, guys. Again, my name is Leslie, and have an awesome day. Happy Thursday, and see you guys next time. Oh, check out the Earth Treks Rockville page for more of these live classes. There's also a YouTube set up now, too, so go check those out, and yeah, thank you.